We are about to start. This is Robot Nuke. Now let's hear it for the man, the myth and the legend in his own head, Eric Nuke Hudson.
Okay. It is Saturday night. I am spritzing. I'm sweating like crazy because it's 90 degrees in Las Vegas, and I am not turning on my AC yet because electricity. I'm sorry. In the words of Captain Payne from House of Pain, Tyler Perry, my electricity is too dang high if I turn it on because electricity bills are almost $300 without the dang air conditioner. So you're going to be seeing me sweating today. I'll sweat for at least the next 2 weeks, and then I'll turn it on. So let's go ahead and get into it. So tonight, I'm going to cover something that is really going to become very important in the future. It's important now, but it's going to become even more important because of all these changes with this NRA lawsuit. Because I've already talked about it, the buyer agreement, so a contract. And one of the things that, they bring up all the stuff, they throw spaghetti at the walls. One spaghetti that the lawyers threw at the wall was, well, the sellers shouldn't have had to pay or been obligated to pay the buyer's agent because they didn't have a contract. Now, contract has always existed. Thing is, most agents don't use them because the way things are, you have to enter the contract before you go seeing houses. Well, you don't know somebody from a can of paint, and you're supposed to go into a contract with them. So again, I find it to be a bit silly, but because I find it to be a bit silly doesn't mean anything. This is the way it is. By July, 100% of agents are going to be requiring these contracts because it's under the settlement agreement by the National Association of Realtors. Most have started now for many reasons, including the fact to iron out all the processes. Because my company is big enough where we have gone out and, they have attorneys and all these people who know what they're doing, and they go in and they boom, write up something that follows the spirit of the new requirements from the National Association of Realtors. I'll put it that way. So let's meander through this as I sweat and have my Bloody Mary. It's a different flavor of Bloody Mary tonight because I forgot. I only had about one left of the other one. But yeah, let's see. Let's get a swig of it. Completely different taste. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to start with, I'm not going to beat to death the normal thing I do, what's going on in the market, because it shouldn't have changed that much. But I'm just going to play this video that someone sent me today, a lender. Hopefully I got the sound on. And let's see what he has to say.
Hey, this is Juan Huerta, Community Access Lending with the Mortgage Market Minute. So in the last quarter of 2023, 26% of affordable homes, more than 1 out of every 4, was purchased by investors, both individuals and by corporations. And this is at a record pace. It's a 24% increase from before. So if the people with the data, the resources,
well, that just isn't fun, is it?
And the money are buying homes at a higher percentage than ever before, do you think prices are going to go up? They think prices are going to go up. Could they be wrong? Possibly, but they're kind of creating their own fortune on this. Now, is this fair? Is it fair that those people are buying homes when a lot of people can't afford properties? And the answer is no, it's not really fair, but it is the hand that's been dealt us. It's the hand that's been dealt to
well, my internet,
and so it's not going to get any better than this. It's not going to get any easier. So it's a challenge, but there are some ways.
Come on, finish it up. Finish it strong. Finish it strong. Okay, forget it. Okay, so let's just go ahead, take a look at the contract. And this is the one, I don't want to call it a contract, but it is a contract. Hang that. Guess everyone is enjoying their Saturday night because nobody's here joining. But anyway, day 20, 10 days left. So they start this one off from our company with the Code of Ethics disclosure from Article 9. So we're a realtor company, therefore adhere to the Code of Ethics. So I guess someone brought up that we were always supposed to have contracts for buyers, but nobody did it. But now they're putting this into place. So protection of parties. So this is only a disclosure, but it's like attached to the top of ours. State law of Nevada provides that an agent may enter into an oral or written representation agreement with the buyer as members of the National Association of Realtors were held to a higher code of ethics. Those of you know, realtors are the ones who are members of the National Association of Realtors. So you can be a real estate agent without being a realtor. From the Code of Ethics, realtors, for the protection of all parties, shall ensure, whenever possible, that all agreements related to the real estate transaction, including but not limited to listings and representation agreements, purchase contracts, and leases, are in writing in clear and understandable language, expressing the specific terms, conditions, obligations, commitments of the parties. A copy of each agreement shall be furnished to each party to such agreement upon signing or initialing. Because of the code, your agent, put their name there, must provide you a written buyer broker agreement. He or she may provide you with an exclusive or non-exclusive agreement for your review or approval. The client is generally better off with an exclusive relationship with the realtor. Naturally, should you have concerns whatsoever, we would recommend you consult your legal counsel. Yep, go pay somebody $500 to tell you what this is saying. I've been, and this is like your statement, I've been advised opportunity to read the National Association Realtors Code of Ethics, Article 9, which is right here. My agent has provided me with a copy of this information and disclosure, and also provided me with a copy of the buyer broker's agreement, which is the next page. This is the actual buyer broker's agreement. So putting in here, you know, city or county, date, blah, 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 the buyers, the agent. Okay, there we go. Lost my cursor there for a second. Buyer's exclusive agent for the purpose of assisting the buyer to acquire interest in real property by way of purchase, exchange, option, or lease, which I guess now is going to be required. I don't normally do leases, so by lease, effect of exclusive buyer agent's contract. You know, I'm going to let you guys. No, you may not be able to read it. You know what? If I do this. It's supposed to be a 4K, so I should be able to read it. So I'm just going to mumble here for a second. Okay. What I want to get to is some of the things in here. And I'm going to be honest, we're learning as we go through this. We're completely learning as we go through this because it's never been required in the past. But see, some of the things that they're doing is also covering where you need to be kind of, you know, true to yourself in here. If you, you know, I've seen people have a $800,000 approval, and then they're like, well, I want to keep it to, you know, 400,000, even though I can afford 800,000. That's great. If you put in here price range up to 400,000, you're kind of telling the agents, like, I'm only required to provide you with anything that I find in the MLS for us to see up to 400,000. You may want to put in here 800,000 if you have an $800,000 approval, or if you only ask for 8, but you know you can do $1 million. I'm not trying to drive you up to higher rates or anything. I'm just saying. Then you want to describe your ideal home. You know, I want a 3-bedroom home. I want a single story. I need a bedroom on the first floor. I need an office, whatever. It needs to be in here. But, you know, but it can't be any other acceptable property in Clark County, Nevada. I don't know. Why wouldn't they just put Clark County up here? Maybe I should address that. Duration. Now, usually when people do a buyer broker agreement, it's for 6 months. You know what? It can be for as little as a day if you need it to. But if you're really working with an agent, if you really want them to put their all into it, oh, I only want to work with you for 1 week. I'm only going to do that. I'm only going to sign one for a month. It's like if they have somebody who is doing over on this side saying they'll sign the 6 months, well, they may put more effort into that person because it's like at the end of the week, I may not have you as a client. And vice versa. Somebody may say they may work harder for you. So who knows? Because then it's probably going to be somebody goes like, well, I only wanted a 1 week agreement. And I think he didn't work as hard for me as he worked for these people who had a 3 month agreement or whatever. This lawsuit has just opened up a bunch of crazy stuff. Okay, broker will use reasonable effort to locate property, to procure acceptance, offer, purchase property, assist completion of the transaction. Broker should make submission, blah, blah, blah. Cost of services, broker will not obtain or order products or services from outside sources unless the buyer agrees to them. Amendment to the title reports, pest inspections, property surveys, soil condition, blah, 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 blah. This part right here is especially, I need to do an entire video on this, is all BS. It's really BS because the title stuff is brokered under insurance. And I don't know. I just need to do another video on it. Buyer broker is authorized to negotiate the buyer's fee below to be paid by the seller's broker builder, another party credited to the buyer within the purchase agreement as buyer comes to session. This is where it becomes a problem. You see right here where it says the percent amount of compensation shall be, and the pre-times, this was a floor. I could put in here 0, still have this contract, and it's all good. So we're not supposed to really talk percentages, but I'm just, what's that banana? You know what? I'm going to talk. This is just stupid. So let's say a seller is offering out 2.5% commission, right? We're just saying that. If the agent were to put 0 here under these new rules, it's number 27 of the agreement from the National Association of Realtors. That is the amount they can collect. So under the old one, if they pay 2.5%, you can do collect your 2.5%. You're putting 0 there saying, hey, whatever the seller is going to give me. But under this new one, it's a ceiling. So it says the most I will take. I mean, it's really hard to explain. The most I will take is 0%. So if the seller is offering 2.5% and the most you put on there is 0, you will collect $0. At least your agent will. It probably should be redone because it's just so crazy. Because let's pretend that you put on here 3%, and some seller who's really trying to dump their house, or sell their house, they know that the more you offer to the buyer's agent, the more likely they're to be like trying to push you on that house and trying to get you to come see that house. That is marketing in itself. Well, if you do that, great. They only have to pay the 3%. So it's really crazy. They should have had it just the way it was. This is the minimum I'll accept instead of it's the maximum. And I just see a lot of folks who are just, I'll tell you on top, there's going to be a lot of people who are not going to just cotton to this. Because it was hard enough when you put in there, and under the old one, the minimum I'll accept is 3%. I'll make it up. And you get a 1% person who's offering 1% of the listing. It's like, okay, you need to come up with this other 2%. Well, it's crazy. That's what they're talking about, the offset provision here. If there is compensation offered to the broker by any other party transaction, including seller, builder, seller's broker, developer, blah, blah, blah. It's going to apply. See, that's where it just, and I can see how people can just really misconstrue this one. Failure to close, the seller fails to close, no fault part of the buyer. The fees outlined in Section 7, compensation to broker, shall be waived. So if it doesn't close, you don't owe anybody anything. So you don't have to worry about that part there, at least. Disclosure at the time of initial contract, the broker shall inform all prospective sellers of their agents that the broker is an agency with the buyer. Yeah, I don't know. This is just a holy mess. Any success in the event of litigation or arbitration, parties agree that the cost and reasonable attorney fees shall be awarded to the prevailing party. There's just a lot of people who are not going to like this. I hope they have at least another version of this soon, because we're required this in our agency or brokerage. And a lot of brokerages are just going that way. Spoke with someone today. I just asked the question because they're a small brokerage of about 12 agents. The response was, yeah. Let me show you this in a second. When I asked was, have you guys implemented the BBA yet? Not yet, 100%, highly suggested. So, either party may terminate this contract by delivering written notice to the other party for reasonable cause. In the event of such termination, the agent shall prepare a list of all properties shown, otherwise introduced to the buyer. Provide such a list by hand delivery or U.S. mail or electronically. So basically, what this is, let's say somebody runs, this happened a lot, especially with for sale by owners. You introduce the house to the person, show them the house, and then the owner's like, hey, you know what? What about this? You don't use your agent, and we'll make a deal. It happens. So this is basically you giving them a list of like, hey, I showed you all these houses. We've mutually agreed we're going to, but because you wrote it in there, this is why you get your out. So it's not like you're really tied down to the agent, but if they give you that list, you went to these places. If you buy later, then you owe them that compensation that you tried to get out of. That's pretty much it. Finishing up something, I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to show you this, and this is really funny. Right as this was starting, or a little bit before, I just want to show it because you have all these crazy people. So for those of you that haven't heard of pig butchering, those random messages you get on your cell phone. I probably should just bring this up so we can see it better. Hold on. Let me see if I can share this right. Just going to share my screen. So hopefully no notifications come across. Look at this. So I get this. This is my new number. They start this stuff. Is this Darren? All this stuff. Who is this? I'm Kelly. Are you okay? Okay. So this is the new pig butchering start. I'll let everyone know. I'm letting you know so they know that I wasn't joking. The pig killing conference is about to begin. Are you a pig? So yeah, you got to know what their latest BS is. So now, like people send you the notice going like, hey, this is my new number. Yeah. So all this crazy stuff. Look up pig butchering. I don't have time to do it for you. I'm debating whether to show this next or not. You know what? It has nothing to do with anything because it was related to the stuff I have in my background here. 20 minutes. Not a single person came on tonight. So you're probably getting tired of me as I'm getting tired of doing them. But I have a death wish to continue to do this for 10 more days. And I'm going to make sure it happens come rain, shine, high water. It's going to be done. I got 20 minutes in. Replay, call, text, email if you need anything. And of course, get on the calendar. That's much better because most of the day I was out helping people shop for homes, and I'll probably be out most of the day tomorrow doing the same thing. It's hard for me when people call while I'm, doing that. People like to have their time and spend their time doing that, but I have clients to, talk to. So get on the calendar. It's much better. See you guys tomorrow. No movies tonight for me.